Hey, it's the Right Rican, and today, in honor of was it International Trans Day of Visibility, I'm going to talk about the Equality Act. Um, but first, I'm going to give a shout out to my favorite trans YouTuber, Blair White. If anyone knows anything about Blair White, um, she is male to female trans person, and she's conservative. She is so the irony is when people talk about, because if you don't agree with someone with a different ideology or point of view, you are a transphobe, you are a homophobe, you are racist, whatever. And you know, these are people who break the mold and show that it has nothing to do about um, it doesn't, not with everyone, because I want to say there are homophobic people, there are transphobic people out there. I'm not going to say that people like that. Of course, there's racist people out there. It exists, but just because you don't agree with their ideology, that doesn't make it so. It doesn't make it racism. It doesn't make it transphobia just because you disagree. So I wanted to before I go into the Equality Act, I just wanted to show. No, it's to view the story. Some of the stuff that she put on here today. Um, here's uh, a meme from Trends Gender Rights Movement. 98% of straight men refuse to perform oral sex on a feminine penis due to their bigotry and hatred of trans women and genitalia-based bigotry. Look, listen, to each their own. You like what you like, but to accuse someone of being transphobic because they don't want to perform oral sex on male genitalia just because you call it feminine penis doesn't change the fact that it's male genitalia. Um, and here's some other stuff she put up. What's this here? I see more people advocating for puberty blockers for all children, whether they are trans or not. It keeps getting so extreme. Um, no, which was the one here? Activists. This is crazy. Transgender activist calls for all children to be placed on puberty blockers until they can decide their gender. It's ridiculous. You're talking about 1% of the population. So we need to put kids on uh, hormones or hormone blockers in order to fulfill, in order to satisfy an ideology of that 1% of the population of the world, not just the U.S. Excuse me, but the world. It's, I mean, it's crazy. But like I said, shout out to Blair White. This is a, just wanted, just have been following her for a while, and I enjoy her content. Um, but there's a Wall Street Journal opinion. It's behind a paywall, so I can't really get to the whole article. I just wanted to show the article where it goes, the Equality Act is at war with reality. Every child knows the difference between mom and dad. Congress seeks to outlaw the distinction. And look, listen, um, you feel the way you feel. I can't stop you from feeling the way you feel. But at the end of the day, look, listen, like I said, I showed Blair White. She's had a bunch of surgeries to get herself to look that way. But at the end of the day, the genitalia is still male. And I don't got problems with calling male to female trans person she. I don't have a problem using that pronoun. Even the they, them, even though that's kind of ridiculous too. But when you get all to these different ridiculous pronouns that they're making up, look, listen, Transgender people, they want to be the opposite sex. That's it. Because we got two sexes. That's it. Two genders, two sexes, whatever. You know, you want to feel non-binary because you have some male and female characteristics. Do you? Okay. But stop with this nonsense that there's 10,000 genders and whatnot. You don't see a trans person want to be one of these 1,000 genders. It's usually, it's always a guy wants to be a girl and girl wants to be a guy. They want to do it, more power to them. Not with children. You get 18. Look, it's my job as a parent to protect you even from yourself. Okay, that's the whole thing of parents to children. So this whole thing of parents putting these children on puberty blockers and letting them transition at as early as in single digits, it's ridiculous. It's child abuse. You don't agree with me? Keep it moving. But to me, you're 18. I still think it's too young to make that decision. But you know what? You're an adult. You're legally an adult now, and you want to make that call. You make that call for yourself. But as a parent, before you're 18, I'm making the choice, and I have to protect you from yourself, because I think it's like 25 when the human brain is finally fully developed. And there's so many people who detransition that nobody talks about, because it's heresy to talk about all the people that detransition, because they're like, oh, look at all these people. Look, like I said, like I showed Blair White. I have a couple of friends. I wouldn't say they're trans, maybe more like guys who like to dress like women. But I've met, made friends and hung out with trans people before. Um, but this whole Equality Act, all it's doing is all it's meant to really is to flip everything. Look, I feel bad for these kids who are transitioning early, and then they all have a place to play sports. But look, these male to female trans people, trans children, they're still males. They still have, they're genetically still men. They still have a higher amounts of testosterone. That, as much as people want to say men and women are the same, no, we're not. We are built differently, men and women. Our hormones are different because of what our functions were. Okay, men were supposed to be the protectors. They needed to be stronger, faster. It's like, take for example, was a Megan Rapinoe, who's complaining about the gender pay gap. I go like this. Okay, if this whole thing with gender and is a construct and there's no differences between men, she's an elite female athlete. Go play in the men's team. See how that works. See if you can even make the men's U.S. soccer team. I guarantee you won't. I think Serena Williams, I think she tried playing a man, and a man against a man, and it wasn't even a top ranked man, and she didn't do that well. And it's not to say that you have a good game, bad game, whatever, but on most given days, an elite athlete male is going to beat a female athlete, and even an elite female athlete might not be able to beat just the average man. And it's not sexist to say that; it's just biologically true. But you have the Equality Act here that wants to put into law saying, no, look, listen, if you still have male genitalia, unless you look like Blair, that you did all these surgeries to make yourself female, but if you got a beard and you still, you got a beard, you're still going through the hormones, no, and you still have your male genitalia, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go into the family restroom that usually is, for families. That's a gender neutral bathroom. Go in there, but let men go into their spot to use the restroom, and females to use theirs. That's it. Same thing with sports. We need, there's a certain amount of scholarships, and by allowing male to female trans athletes to compete against biological females, you're creating a space. You're taking away the female space. That one of the reasons why it was created in the first place is you can't have men and women competing in the same sports. It's just it's difficult. It's very difficult for women to compete with men. It's the testosterone. The testosterone levels are off the. You change it, it's off the charts. What's going to happen is you're going to do that. You're going to force female athletes to end up doing steroids or something like that to try to compete with these trans athletes. I feel for them. Um, they want to compete, but I'm sorry, we got to protect our daughters to be able, so they could get a scholarship to go to wherever, whatever sport, whether it's wrestling, whether it's track and field, softball, baseball, whatever. There's only a limited amount of scholarships, and this is taken away. I remember, I know in Connecticut they're suing because someone wanted to. I'm gonna stop sharing this here. Someone wanted to. Two trans athletes took the first and second in a girls' race, and it's like it took a scholarship opportunity away from one of the top females because I think she was the one who finished third, and it wasn't. It's not fair. Of trying to create fairness, you actually taking away fairness. So this Equality Act it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. What do it's a no-win because this is you got to discriminate against somebody, so to speak. And honestly, um, you have to allow a space for female sports. That's what Title IX was for, is for female sports to be able to participate. And if you're gonna, I feel for the trans athletes, but if that's the case, then you got to compete with men. If you're a male transitioning to female, um, you're gonna have to compete in men's sports. And if you're a female transitioning to men, you're gonna have to participate in female sports. That's it. Um, to me, that's the solution. That's not the solution. Is to, allow uh, male to female trans people dominate women's sports. I mean, even Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was talking about Fallon Fox, who's like, transitioned late in life, was a MMA fighter fighting men, and then when he transitioned to female and started fighting females, he was, I think he broke a woman's skull. So it's not. It's just a competitive disadvantage toward women to allow trans women to participate in female sports. Just is. Um, and what are we going to do? But this is, like I said, as a Latino, they get us on our emotions because we're emotional people. They want to get us on, oh, but we got to feel bad for them. And I feel bad for my daughter growing up to have to deal with this. I, I'm, I laugh when my son is going through speech therapy, and they're showing him pictures, and the speech therapist goes, um, "What's the pronoun for the and they're putting he for boy and she for girl." I'm like, I cannot, it's like, I'm just glad that they're not trying this whole confusion with a special needs child, that they're going to try to get them to, follow ridiculous pronoun rules. It's like, if you look female, I'm going to call you she. If you look male, I'm going to call you he. If you have a beard and boobs, I'm going to call you he. That's just, you have more masculine characteristics than you have feminine characteristics. If you get offended, I'll apologize. And didn't know you want to be called she, I'll call you she. But should it be law? No, absolutely not. Because I have the right to make that mistake. I have the right to offend you. That's it. If you get offended, I'll apologize, but I shouldn't have to be penalized by law for it. Oh, I hurt your feelings. Oh, I'm sorry. But like I said, as Latinos, I mean, that whole Latinx, none of us call it. For the majority of Latinos, we don't follow that nonsense. We think it's, you know, sorry, or if I'm going to be like a little racial here and go, that's liberal white people nonsense, and we don't subscribe to that stuff. We realize that Latino is a gender based language. Spanish is a gender based language, like most Latin languages. Okay, and we're okay with it because for the majority of history, it's either male or female. Yeah, you had eunuchs, you had androgynous people, but doesn't change the fact that for the majority of human existence, we've been male and female. And people want to change that. I probably should do a better deep dive into it so I could show people how this is a Marxist ideology and how it's being used to destroy our country from within. If anybody's interested in that, I'll make that video. Let me know in the comment section. I'll do it. But I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna cut it off here. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Uh, Please follow me on either YouTube or Rumble. I appreciate. I've been getting more comments and have a lot more followers on Rumble. I appreciate the feedback. I try to answer back as quickly as possible. You can also follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, obviously, saw it there, Twitter, uh, Gab, Parlor. I'm also on all these other ones. I think I'm on Minds, Patreon, Locals. I have pages all over the place. I just usually just stick to those four: Twitter, Facebook, Parlor, and Gab. And in particular, the three that I'm really on: Gab, Facebook, and Twitter. Uh, I try I try to go on some of the other ones as much as I can, but um, and it doesn't. I get alerts if I get responses on those pages. So when I check my email, I'll get back to you guys. So, anyways, enjoy your Easter weekend. Like I said, I'm gonna do some do some content the next couple of days. Might I haven't decided exactly how I'm gonna go about it. Probably gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do some scripture based passages, and I might try to relate it to stuff today. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see what the Holy Spirit puts into me to do. So, well, that said, have a good one, everyone.